Hey, what's up, everyone? Good afternoon. Some of you I saw earlier in the 49ers YouTube live stream. That was fun. Good to see you again. I got sunburned today. I'm dehydrated, and I watched 22 rookies try to go through a practice. In a sense, it was kind of silly. In another sense, it was very educational, and I'm glad I went. I wish you guys could have been there too. I'm going to do my best to describe what happened. But remember, hold on. I don't just do like observations from camp. That's how most people do it. Since I've been in the game for now my 11th season, it's always the good and the not so good. I don't just give thoughts or observations or little takeaways. No, good and not so good every time. So I judge, but at the same time, there's context. This is day one of the offseason. Ultimately, it doesn't matter who was good and not so good today. It's just a diagnostic to see where people are. You know, sometimes you would take a test at the beginning of the school year. You wouldn't be graded on it, but it would let the teacher know where you stood scholastically. So that's what today was, a diagnostic. And it was very interesting. Now, remember, 22 players, no defensive linemen, so no 11 on 11 stuff. So how did Aaron Banks look? He looked like a football player. I don't know. We'll find out when he's doing football things. I could tell you about the running backs, the quarterback, the wide receivers, the corners. That's what I'll focus on today. I'm sorry I can't tell you anything about Aaron Banks, but it's something to look forward to. All right? Also, this will be about half hour. It's Friday night. We should go out and take our wives out. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take my wife out. So half hour, I'll go through my observations, marinate on it, and then I'll be back 10 in the morning, Cohn phone. All right? And then we can get into it as much as you like. Ask me any questions you want. Thank you. Thank you very much. Is it because I'm so pink in the face? It could be, but I really appreciate you. All right, let's talk. Trey Lance. My impression of Trey Lance. Definitely more advanced than Colin Kaepernick was in Kaepernick's first practice. And Kaepernick was 23. Kaepernick didn't have mini camp or OTAs. It was training camp in 2011. There was a lockout. Kaepernick fumbled snaps repeatedly as a rookie, as a 23-year-old rookie. He was coming from a pistol offense in college. Trey Lance didn't have any procedural errors. It's not like you could see he couldn't remember the plays, or he couldn't spit them out, or he couldn't get the ball from under center. He looked like he'd been on the team a long time. So that's a good thing. Did he look ready? Yeah. He executed the offense flawlessly. There were no penalties on him. He was 20 of 24. He completed his first 12 passes. And what's interesting about him, he didn't scramble once today. 7 on 7, so you can't scramble. It's basically just a passing drill. There's no handoffs, no play action. Just drop back and throw. And there was very few shotgun. A lot of him under center, straight drop backs, like he's Joe Montana, like it's 1985. How often do you see the Niners have under center straight drop backs? Very little. In the NFL now, it's usually if they're under center, it's a run or it's a play action. Anyway, that's what he did most of the day, and he was 20-24. Pretty good. Pretty good. Now, he's interesting, his style. His average depth of target might have been 4 yards down the field. It was very much look left, look right, check down. You could see him going through progressions. It wasn't like he knew instantly where to go with the ball, which is what, Mac Jones had going for him at Alabama. With Trey, he held on to it longer than really he will be later on. He was holding on to it for a while, and it would be not there, boom. Almost a little like what I saw from Justin Fields at Ohio State. That being said, 2024 found the check down repeatedly. It's a good thing. How often do you see Jimmy Garoppolo check down? How much better would Jimmy be if he could just check down? What's interesting about Trey Lance is he's a game manager at heart. He does not jeopardize the football. He doesn't put it in harm's way. He protects the football first and foremost. So did Colin Kaepernick. And then he's accurate. I was curious to see what his accuracy was. Now, he threw a lot of short passes. This is basically what he did. He threw running backs out of the backfield on out routes, and he would hit tight ends and wide receivers over the middle. That was Trey Lance. So first takeaway is he's ready. And if he's going to be completing, what is 20 of 24? What is that? 80%? If he's going to be completing something like 80% of his passes in camp, Jimmy's got a problem. because Jimmy doesn't do that. Jimmy's the kind of guy who'll complete 58% of his passes in camp and be like, well, I'm a gamer. I'm better in the games. Okay, well, this guy is going to be better in games too because he can scramble. You don't really do that in practice. No one really practices scrambling. You're there to practice executing. The second reaction plays, that just happens in games. Jimmy doesn't offer that. Trey Lance does. What he also offers is apparently excellent practice execution. Jimmy's the kind of guy who'll throw a pick a day and finish with 14 to 26, 27. Now, Trey Lance, this was just against rookies, but he looks like a very good practice quarterback, which bodes very poorly for Jimmy Garoppolo. Very quick feet, very strong arm. There were certain times where he felt like he was aiming it. When he wanted to let it rip, my God, really strong arm. Now, I just want to say, it's not all about practice performance. The best practice quarterback I've ever seen is Brian Hoyer. That's the truth. He was amazing in practice. That guy would let it rip. He would throw bombs down the field. Trey Lance didn't do that. Trey Lance was very conservative. He never threw a pass that, I don't think he attempted a pass that went more than 15 yards downfield. Keep that in mind. All right, let's move on. Banks was sipping on a slushie like Robbie Gould. Okay. Trey Sermon. Now remember, this was 7-on-7 day. I didn't get to see him running outside zone. I didn't get to see him navigating the offensive line, finding holes, that kind of stuff. But I saw him one-on-ones. There was a one-on-one section, which is very informative. There were the running backs and tight ends against the linebackers and safeties on one field, and there were the wide receivers against the corners on the other. Sermon was going with there was only one quarterback on the field, Trey Lance. So he's over there throwing the wide receivers. They got the equipment guy throwing to the tight ends and running backs. Anyway, Trey Sermon runs, I don't know what you want to call it, the Texas route, the option route. It's that route that Jeff Wilson runs really well. It's the one that it's the Jeff Wilson route. Come out hard, pump hard jab step to the left, into the right. Trey Sermon did that against Justin Hilliard, undrafted free agent from Ohio State. Made Hilliard fall down. Like he broke Hilliard's ankles. And then coming across, the trainer throws an errant pass and he's out for it. Catches it. Full extension. Running back. I like that. That was the one play from Trey Sermon I saw today. Everything, I mean, he caught everything that came to him that from what I saw. He got targeted in the flat a lot because Trey Lance checks down. Trey Lance is going to throw a lot to running backs. I'm telling you. But that was the highlight of the day. And when it happened, there is I hope I don't get this wrong. There's an old-time photographer who's always at the Niners. Been there since before I was born. I think his name is Michael Zagaris, I think. Anyway, he was right next to me today. He was doing his thing on a knee, photographing one-on-ones. And when Trey Sermon did that, he just put it down and said, wow, it was a wow play. Trey Sermon, very shifty. Okay, that's why. So anyway, I think the dude is really good. I can't wait to see him as a running back because it seems like what he offers is contact balance and power. And what he is a interesting receiver. He can do a lot of the stuff that Jeff Wilson Jr. does, basically. He does all the things Jeff Wilson Jr. does, but he's 15 pounds heavier. They both get injured. It'll be nice to have both of them and not just one. So a super Jeff Wilson Jr. And I love Jeff Wilson Jr. He's one of the undrafted free agent all-stars on the Niners along with Ross Dwelley. Thought I wasn't going to say Ross Dwelley. Elijah Mitchell, the other running back. This guy was very interesting. He got just as much work as Trey Sermon did in this practice. Now, there weren't a lot of players, so they all had to play. But I'm talking like targets from Lance. I always kind of like to notice who's getting the ball in practice, and it was Elijah Mitchell frequently getting the check down. Okay, so whatever, they're check downs. But the one-on-ones, he's wearing 49, which last year was Josh Hokett, the fullback. Now Hokett's 40. But I was confused. And I saw 49 line up in the backfield and then just explode on a wheel route. Just, the up the sideline. And he just dusted. Who was it? He dusted. Hold on. Hilliard. Hilliard's not good, by the way, at least in coverage. 58. Just dusted Hilliard. Caught the ball deep. Again, the trainer threw the ball. Hell of a throw from the trainer. I think his name is Doc Dressler. I could be wrong, but he's been there longer than me. Anyway, I was like, man, Josh Hokett got fast. That dude is really fast. What happened? Also lost like 15 pounds and definitely got a tan. No, it's not Josh Hokett. It's 6th-round pick, Elijah Mitchell. He looks fast. Everyone said, hey, well, he's not really that fast. He dropped weight to run that 40. Okay. Well, he said that he's planning away around 205, 209. He looks super fast. Kind of reminded me of the first time I saw Matt Breida. Matt Breida, I remember that. That was at a rookie mini camp 4 years ago. And he was the guy that was like, whoa, who is that guy? Elijah Mitchell was the Matt Breida of today. I'm not saying he's going to be Matt Breida because Matt Breida has made a nice career for himself, but I'm not saying he's not either. Got drafted higher. I mean, he got drafted, unlike Breida, and bigger. Maybe not just as fast, but fast. Looked really good today. I kept noticing 49, and I was thinking, man, Josh Hokett is having a hell of an afternoon. Am I going to have to actually report on Josh Hokett? It's not Josh Hokett. It's Elijah Mitchell. So good on you, Elijah. I like how Sermon preached to Tugboat McKinnon, showing him how to be a running back. Yeah, it's interesting to see number 28 in the 49ers backfield actually be good. I mean, from McKinnon to Carlos Hyde, some bad 28s on the Niners. And now the guy looks, he looked like a way different class of athlete than the people trying to cover him. Ambry Thomas. Ambry Thomas was very interesting. Been watching his tape, and he's very athletic. He gets beat a lot for a guy who's very athletic. And when he gets beat, it's usually not because he's outclassed. It's technique. He's too hands-on with the receiver. He gets his weight out in front. He slips, things like that. So I was curious, what's he going to look like in one-on-one drills? Because he has the athleticism to dominate them. But also he has these like bad habits that get himself beat. Anyway, I didn't notice him get beat once today. Not in one-on-ones. And 7-on-7s, I noticed a few times where he'd be in man-to-man coverage, pressed, and then facing a fade route from, Austin Prohl, Ricky Prohl's son. Anyway, just smothers it, just like looks like he's jogging with the guy. And then you see Trey Lance look to Ambry, not to Ambry, but the receiver who Ambry's covering, notice that he's not open, and just move on. Saw it a few times. He didn't even test Ambry. No thanks. Not going to happen. So what I noticed from the Niners in this game, in this practice was, again, I mentioned it earlier, Lance primarily completed passes in the flat on the sides, out routes in the flat to running backs, and stuff over the middle, in breaking stuff to tight ends and wide receivers, which meant Ambry Thomas wasn't getting beat. So, of course, we expect the 3rd-round pick to not get beat by guys like Jawan Jennings and Marquis Lee. Marquis Lee was there today, by the way. Marquis Lee's 29 years old. That's who got a tryout today. What happened to the rookie tryouts? Anyway, Marquis Lee. These guys were not beating Ambry Thomas. Now it'll be nice to see what Ambry Thomas can do against Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel. That'll be a test. This wasn't a test, but it was nice to see that he dominated. He looked very good and in control. He looked like he was jogging around the field, and that was faster than necessary. So good job, Ambry Thomas. As well as Ambry Thomas played in this rookie minicamp, Diamador Lenoir, not Lenoir, Diamador Lenoir was the standout corner because he had an interception during one-on-ones. He intercepted a pass intended for Austin Watkins. Now, this was thrown by Trey Lance, but I never hold interceptions against the quarterback in one-on-ones. that's kind of its own thing between the wide receivers and people covering them. I track interceptions in team drills, 7 on 11, 11 on 11. So, but anyway, Lance threw it. Diamador intercepted it. He was all over Austin Watkins. I'll get to Austin Watkins later, but all I know is that he wasn't beating Diamador today, and neither was anyone in this practice. Maybe Brandon Ayuk will in starting NFL wide receivers, but in this practice, he was the right corner. Ambry Thomas was the left, and Trey Lance was constantly looking off those reads, constantly, looking right, looking left, and then going to read number 2, and then eventually checking down to the running back. So both Diamador, what I noticed from him is he looked more physical than Ambry. Ambry is bigger, longer, sleeker, faster. But Diamador was right in that guy's hip pocket, very physical, very obnoxious, looked pretty good. These guys all passed their first test. Was look good in a rookie minicamp, please. Look like you belong. I don't remember what Solomon Thomas looked like in his rookie minicamp, but the guy never looked good at all, ever. So I'm thinking he didn't. Think about it, he might not have been there because of the quarter system. Anyway, there are some bad. I remember AJ Jenkins early on. You could tell he sucked because he kept falling down. Even before he would get to like the competitive portions, he'd just go through warmups. He'd be slipping and falling. It's like, yeah, you're not an NFL athlete. I mean, nothing against people who slip and fall, but NFL athletes usually can make it through a practice on their feet unless someone takes them out entirely. So Diamador looked definitely like he fit the part. And it was interesting. They didn't have him in the nickel, in the slot. They had him outside. They had him and Ambry Thomas as their outside corners. So maybe that says something about what I think both have the capability to play nickel, but are going to start out on the outside, which is promising. Good to think that the Niners feel they can get some outside corners at that spot. That photographer you mentioned earlier must have been Michael Zagaris. Yes. Shutterberg Supreme since the Walsh era, legend of the lens for the Niners. Yes, it was him, Michael Zagaris. He's a legend. He was watching the play and he almost fell over. He was like, wow. And it was interesting to see someone who's that not old, but experienced, who's been at all of these practices, seen Joe Montana, Roger Craig, Jerry Rice, real great players, real great plays, be there at a rookie mini camp in May. And just fall over like with genuine excitement. He was genuinely impressed by Trey Sermon. Michael Zagaris. I thought it was pretty cool. I marked it down. Thank you, Christopher. Appreciate it. Keaton says, are they allowing any media the rest of the rookie minicamp? Looking forward to seeing Lance in live 11-on-11 action and see his accuracy downfield. No, they're shutting us out. Now, to be fair, it's what they do every year. I went back and looked, and it's always been one day of media availability for rookie minicamp, and then they shut us down. Okay, so they're sticking to the script. I think it's too bad. I think they should be putting Trey Lance in front of the media as much as possible, but they're just doing what they've been doing, and they're not changing things up. So I understand it. That's it for me. We're out. The next time the media will be available, be invited to watch, will be for OTAs, which start in 10 days. Wesley says, Grant, get your boy Last Second Sports. He's supposed to be above arguing with people in the chat. Is he arguing? If he is, good for him. And he's probably right. I can't keep track, and he's a big boy. He knows he's a UFC fighter, man. I wouldn't mess with him. Talanoa Hufanga. See, here's the thing about this guy, all right? Everyone's hyping up Talanoa Hufanga. First team All-Pro. Sorry. First team All-American last year. Playmaker. Big hitter. Gets interceptions, forces fumbles, hell of a player. Those things, and they may be true. I'm not disputing them. Those are things that aren't going to show in a practice where they're doing 7-on-7s, right? No hitting, no special teams. So I couldn't see the best thing from Talanoa Hufanga. He could be a special teams Pro Bowler. He could be a hell of a player. He could be just one of these guys who's playmaker, and it's just hard to say how he does it. But in this setting, in this rookie minicamp, he was the one draft pick who didn't look good. And I say that not because of 7-on-7s. He was fine in 7-on-7s. I didn't see him get isolated, beat, anything. Then they did 1-on-1s. And first he went up against Hold on. He had like 2. I want to give him credit. 29. Okay, so he went up against 48 first, who's like a 27-year-old tight end named Ellis. I don't know who that is. Some guy. So Ellis ran like an out route and telegraphed the hell out of it, and Hufanga was all over it. He didn't have to change directions. Smothered him. Next rep, he went up against Josh Peterson, who is a undrafted free agent rookie tight end. Doug Peterson's son. 6'5", 235. Kind of has a little bit of a Ross Dwelley vibe, although I'm not saying he's Ross Dwelley, because who is? I'm saying they probably hope he is the next Ross Dwelley, and there never will be. But he got a little bit of a Ross Dwelley vibe. So he goes up against Talanoa Hufanga in one-on-ones and runs one of those whip routes where it's basically like you go out and you make it look like an out route and then you stop and you come back. Okay? Simple as that. You see Kendrick Bourne run it all the time. You see George Kittle run it all the time. Just going out, come back. He just dusted Talanoa Hufanga with this route. I mean, so bad to the point where Hufanga had to come back and get the talk with the DB coach. Hey man, when he does, you can't not, you don't just like fall away. You got to stick with the guy, you know? So what I'm thinking is that's going to be an issue. To me, the one-on-one stuff is the moment of truth, and it's not a lot that you can do to improve. If you can do it, you can do it. And of course, the offensive player is always has the advantage. But dude, it's Josh Peterson, man. He's not going to make the NFL. And you're a draft pick. You're a first-team All-American. That's Doug Peterson's son. He just made you look like his son. So that wasn't good. He's not going to be a guy who I think can cover. So if he can't cover man-to-man, tight ends, and he's not fast enough to play free safety, what is his role in the NFL? Now, it could be special teams, in which case, fair, because they took him at the end of round 5. What are you expecting? If he's not a starting safety in the NFL, do the Niners mess up? No. He's a late 5th round pick. If he's a core special teams player, that's a great pick. I'm just saying, a lot of people have high expectations for this kid, that he's going to be the steal of the draft. Maybe he is, and it's just one day. But boy, I think he's going to struggle in man-to-man coverage, which is going to limit him. I mean, he looks like a linebacker, like he should be playing linebacker, but he's 6 feet 200. That's a little small to play linebacker. And I mean, how many concussions and shoulder injuries has he had? So pump the brakes on the Talanoa Hufanga hype train. But at the same time, remember, it was just one practice in May. So O-line rookies look any good? As I said, there was no D-line today. So you can't judge offensive line when there's no D-line. It was 7-on-7s. I'll get back to you on Aaron Banks. Last second sports, huh? 1, can that coach who snaps the ball in practice get love? Dude is slick, no-look snaps, and all. Yeah, he's great. He's great. He's another one of the OG vet trainers. I got to get these guys' names. No argument in the chat. I was right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. If Jesse says something, it's probably right. I wouldn't test him. I don't need to talk about Josh Peterson. He beat Talanoa Hufanga. He's number 83. Austin Watkins. Do I need to say anything about Austin Watkins? I don't know. I don't want to write off Austin Watkins yet. He fell during one-on-ones. That's a bad look. Stay on your feet. But it's one day. If he keeps falling, it's not good. But here's what I'm going to say with Austin Watkins. A lot of people hoping that he makes a team and fills in for the Kendrick Bourne role. He could. But today, he didn't look better than Jennings or Marquis Lee. Honestly, Marquis Lee looked better than Austin Watkins today. Jennings looked better than Austin Watkins today. Those two both made more plays in 7-on-7s than Austin Watkins did. Now, Austin Watkins is an undrafted rookie, but hey, man, you're competing for a spot on this team. Marquis Lee is trying out. He did better than you. Jennings was drafted last year. He did better than you. Travis Benjamin's still on the team. Mohamed Sanu's still on the team. River Craycraft is a baller, still on the team. There's a lot of Richie James is a hell of a player. There's a lot of competition. I wouldn't just pencil Austin Watkins onto the roster just yet. He didn't do anything today that made me be like, oh, that's a baller right there. No, he fell. He was the only guy who fell. Not writing Austin Watkins off yet. Not writing him off at all. But if this were a diagnostic, as I said earlier, he had one of the lower scores in the diagnostic. Not impressive. Although I heard he was very impressive at the Senior Bowl. I watched those one-on-one reps at the Senior Bowl. He looked good. You're not at the Senior Bowl anymore, though. This is the NFL. And if you couldn't stand out going against, Diamador and Ambry, how's it going to look when you go up against Jason Verrett, man? I don't think it's going to look good. So let's just temper expectations. Maybe what's going to happen with Austin Watkins is he spends a year in the practice squad, and he's someone that is a factor next year. Or not. All right, hold on. Quit hating on our Hufanga love. We'll be an A pick. Yeah, if he's a great special teams player, definitely an A pick. I didn't mean – that's the thing. I told you, I judge these practices. I always do good and not so good. And fans like it much more than the takeaways or the impressions. But the not so good stuff always upsets them. And they always say, well, why are you writing them off? Or how are you going to – I'm not. I'm just saying, man, it was just one practice. He could be in the good section next time. It's just one practice. I ain't writing off Talanoa. I just feel like he might struggle in man-to-man coverage. There's a lot of other things a dude can do. So let's see. Finally, hold on. I did it again, man. Hold on. That's rookie stuff. It's because I'm all right. I'm losing words, language. It's escaping me. Kyle Shanahan, I put him in the not so good category today. Again, it's just one day. And I think Kyle Shanahan's a good coach. But to give myself an out here, I laid this out before camp started. I've been saying what I expect from Kyle, that everyone's going to go to these practices and talk about the players, but the players are executing a script and you should be critiquing the script. What is the coach emphasizing? And from day one with Colin Kaepernick, Jim Harbaugh had him doing his own stuff. You are learning something new. You are learning your own thing, his offense. What I saw from Trey Lance today was he just ran the Jimmy offense. He was stationary the whole day. He didn't practice one rollout pass, not during warmups. I know if Kyle were here right now, I'd be like, well, it's 7-on-7, man. What do you want me to do? We can't do play action rollouts. That's fine. How about practice it in warmups? How about have 2.5 minutes where he throws 4 passes rolling right and 4 passes rolling left? Why didn't you do that? You had him throwing every other pass, the far hash pass, over the middle, quick outs, every pass. Like a golfer going through his clubs, doing all the different. What about that one? That's going to be a club that you call for frequently in the Trey Lance bag. And you didn't do that once. It just feels like a wasted day, man. Honestly, watching that, I've watched all the Kyle Shanahan rookie mini camps. It felt like he Xeroxed the install from, 2 years, last year's rookie. They didn't have one last year, but 2 years ago, the one from 2 years ago. Whatever. It's CJ, it's Nick Mullins, it's Jimmy, it's Trey, whatever, man. This is how we start. Okay, so we see that Trey Lance can execute the Jimmy Garoppolo offense. Forget the Jimmy Garoppolo offense. It's not that good. There's no throws outside the numbers. There's no throws down the field. There's no pocket movement. That's what you don't want. So I just feel like any day where Trey Lance is just doing the Jimmy Garoppolo stuff is a wasted day from Kyle's perspective. Come on. When you put Trey Lance in the game, he's going to be doing very specific stuff. Why would you have him not practice any of that? I mean, I know you want him to practice straight dropbacks from under center, although how many of those are you going to call a game? That's all you call today. Straight dropbacks from under center. See, that's what I'm saying. It felt like he just Xeroxed his installation. It's like, this is how we teach. We start with straight dropbacks. Like, no, you don't. It's Trey Lance. No, you don't. You start with rollouts. Start with straight dropbacks. This dude must have done 50 straight dropbacks from under center like it was 1967. Okay, man. Kyle, come on, man. That's fine. Rookie minicamp, fine. OTAs, I don't see that anymore. I want to see the Trey Lance package. I want to see the part of the playbook that you have created and dedicated to this kid's present and future. I want to see it because I saw it with Jim Harbaugh. It was evident every day. I want to see it because there is a lot of speculation, more than speculation. It's been reported that you wanted Mac Jones. I'm not saying you didn't like Trey Lance. It's clear you like Trey. How could you not like Trey Lance? Everyone likes Trey Lance. I like Trey Lance. But it's been reported that you preferred Mac Jones. And John Lynch said the decision was made the Monday before the draft, like 3 days before the draft. It was reported that you wanted Mac, he wanted Trey Lance. He came out on Monday happy. You came out real erratic with your behavior. That was the day that you guys decided who to take. That was the day you decided to take Trey Lance. On that day, John Lynch happy, you not so much. Okay, so you say you wanted Trey Lance all along. Prove it. Show us these plans that you started building up in Mexico this offseason. You said you were watching them in Mexico in January. Okay, so you've had 5 months to think about all the things that you're going to do specifically for Trey Lance, all the different directions you can take your offense with him. Show us. I want to see that. I didn't see any of that today. And I'm watching. And I know you don't want to reveal it. You don't want me to come on here and tell the fans. Fine. I'm not going to get specific. I'm a vet. I know the deal. I'm not trying to be an adversary. I'm not trying to reveal your secrets. I'm just going to tell the people, don't worry. He's doing the right thing. The Trey Lance package exists. I've seen it with my own eyes. You don't want me to reveal the secret, but it exists. I can't tell him that now, Kyle. All I can tell him is same offense. So I'd like to see more. Let's see more. 10 days. What do you say? Keep the pressure on Kyle, QC. Good work. That's all I'm saying. I'm just trying to put the pressure on, man. Kyle, you're good. Trey's good. Come on. 2024 running the Jimmy stuff. Give him some more. Come on. Let him throw it down the field, man. He just got A's across the board from the local media from his first outing. Let's step it up, man. Come on. Kyle. Sherman is Kareem Hunt without kicker versatility. It's not nice, man. That's not nice. Maybe Kyle's run offense is his genius and he's not good at pass design. Maybe the Jimmy offense is really the Kyle offense. It's true, man. I think that's possible. I think that the run offense is Mike McDaniel's genius. I think what Kyle and Mike Shanahan are best at is play action. They are the play action gurus in football. No one really has committed to play action the way they do, really ever. Now, I mean, that I can think of. Someone tell me if I'm wrong, but the way that they make the run game and the play action passes look exactly the same, ooh, that's them. But outside zone, I mean, that was Alex Gibbs in the 90s. That was the offensive line coach. And then the stuff the Niners do now is so much more than outside zone. I think this Mike McDaniel. But the play action stuff is Kyle. The drop back passing, I mean, it's Rich Scangarello. The last few years, it was Mike LaFleur. So, yeah, it's not really the most cutting edge aspect of the Niners playbook. I mean, it's the worst aspect of the Niners offensive playbook for keeping it $150. Keeping it $100,000. Understand. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, that's it. 606. Ooh. Hold on. Then I'm bounce. Devin DiBiase, is that your real name? That's a great name. I love that, dude. You should be a wrestler. There was a wrestler when I was a kid named DiBiase. Who was it? Something DiBiase. Devin DiBiase's better, though. Neighborhood shout-out time. Let's see where the Cohn Zone reaches. I'm watching from Citrus Heights, Cali. I don't even know where Citrus Heights is. Respect, though. Shout out. That was nice. I appreciate it. All right, guys. That's the end of that. I'm going to the $1 Million Man. That's what I'm saying. Ted DiBiase. That's right. Devin DiBiase. You guys related? Could be related. All right. I'm out. Thanks for watching. I wish I could go longer tonight, but it's Friday night and I'm a husband and I take that job seriously too. And my wife is gorgeous too. So hot. I'm so excited. So excited to go out tonight. She's also very stimulating with her conversation. We have great talks at dinner. So we're going to do that. I'll be back first thing in the morning, 10 o'clock. Actually, before then, 9 o'clock, I'm going to be on with Jason on his channel. Jason. But then 10, I'll take your call. So you guys want some things you got to get off your chest, some questions. You be like, hey, man, don't say it about Talanoa Fang. I'll be like, all right, fine. That's what I'll say tomorrow. But until then, thank you very much. I'm going to go chill with my wife. See you guys.